When this woman approached a gorilla too closely, something unexpected occurred. Victoria Aspinall discovered she had to share her husband Damien's heart with their animals when they were married. He then brought her to see 2 gorillas he had bred and released into the wild in Gabon, Central Africa. She approached recklessly in spite of his caution, and that's when the unexpected occurred. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. John Aspinall, the father of Damien Aspinall, established the Howlett's Wild Animal Park in 1957. As a result, Aspinall was raised on the 700-acre estate in Kent, England. Aspinall really states that he was assisted in getting out of a tree he was stuck in by a gorilla mother acting as a stand-in. Too bad she wasn't around when years later, his wife came perilously near to a gorilla. The gorillas at Howlett's Wild Animal Park enjoy a secure sanctuary. By releasing bred gorillas into the wild at the Plateau Bateke National Park in Gabon, Central Africa, they also guarantee the survival of the species. Aspinall carried on the tradition after his father's death. Was it a mistake he would regret the rest of his life? Although Aspinall was a recluse among his own kind as a youngster, he was well liked by wild creatures. Humans always let you down, and I've always felt disconnected. Animals never do. More sincerity and purity are present there, Aspinall told Daily Mail. He never thought that his affection for animals would endanger his relationship with his true love. Aspinall raised many young gorillas since the group worked on multiple programs that required returning animals to the wild. He even felt like a surrogate parent because of how pleased he was of the relationship between them. However, Jala and Ima, 2 male gorillas, truly captured his heart. He informed Daily Mail that the 2 gorillas were scheduled to be returned to their natural habitat in the wild. Eventually, his animal companions were allowed to return to their rightful home. However, he was unaware that a contentious family get-together was imminent. Aspinall wed Victoria Fisher in Tuscany, Italy in August of 2016. She soon discovered that when she wed her husband, a conservationist, she also wedded his animals. Fisher ended up yelling at wolves in the park, playing croquet with abandoned anteaters, and hanging around with gorillas. "It might sound crazy, but I genuinely love the wolves as if they were my own children," she stated to the Daily Mail. However, the narrative of how Aspinall and Fisher met was actually very engaging. When Fisher consented to go on a date with Aspinall, she had no idea who he was. "The week we met, he asked me to lunch. I would have said no normally, but I was drawn to him," she added. "He's one of those men that makes an instant impression on you." If she had realized what fate had in store for her, she may have reconsidered. Fisher had a master's in chemistry and worked as a management consultant, but she was also a corporate executive and a city dweller. Thus, she had never considered living in close proximity to wild creatures as her destiny. She was just unaware that fate had placed her on a dangerous road at this point. In 2003, Jala and Ima bid farewell to the father who had nurtured them, but Aspinall was curious about their whereabouts by June 2017. Since their release into the wild, he had been on several missions to locate them. This time, he was accompanied by his spouse, and he alerted her to the impending danger. During their stay at Howlett's Wild Animal Park, Aspinall bonded deeply with Jala and Ima. He was not sure if they would remember him, but he was afraid that too much time in the wild might change them, especially in the presence of his wife. Gorillas that are adults are powerful and sometimes deadly. Despite his uncertainty about the impact of his wife's presence, he and a group of animal specialists took off for Gabon in order to locate Jala and Ima. Simply put, they were unaware that the monsters were ready to emerge from the dense forests where they were hiding. The pair took a boat down the river that runs through the forest and trekked over difficult terrain. Fortunately, Jala and Ima had GPS locators attached to them, but hours had passed and they had not been located despite the team's best efforts. However, Fisher's appointment with Peril hasn't been postponed. The group ultimately located the gorillas thanks to the use of drones that sent footage to Aspinall's phone across the impenetrable bush. But would they assault him and his wife, or would they accept them with open arms? The gorillas were drawn from hiding by the drones. The animals moved to the riverside, which provided Aspinall and the group with an ideal location to launch their boat. but it was years since they'd seen a person. Though he was afraid they might strike without warning, he was determined to approach as closely as possible. Ima and Jala noticed the boat with Aspinall's squad on it. The pair saw firsthand how rapidly an animal's behavior can change in the wild. Even if the gorillas seemed interested by it, Aspinall got out of the boat and crossed the river because he thought the motor would frighten the gorillas. He came ashore and lay low to avoid giving the impression that he was a threat by rising up. Then, something rocked him to his very core. He heard them make a sound that sounded like a gurgle or groan. Fisher moved toward the riverside, wading into waist-deep water in order to ensure that they were at rest and to avoid frightening them. "I chose to carefully ease my approach ashore," she said to Daily Mail. However, things didn't exactly go as planned. When she was a few feet off the coast, he told his wife to remain still. He anxiously awaited an angry response from the gorillas. They then gave her a pleasant gurgling sound, and he motioned for her to come the remaining distance. Was his choice nevertheless overly hasty? Abruptly, a gorilla gave her a friendly nuzzle with his face, indicating their acceptance of her. Then she was greeted with wide arms by both gorillas. After bonding for a bit, it was time for Aspinall and Fisher to leave. But this wasn't the last time they would see the gorillas. The Aspinalls returned the next day and found the gorillas in the same spot. Ima rushed towards Fisher, made some happy noises, and then hugged her. But then something else happened that really took her breath away. Ima took Fisher's hat, gave it a sniff, and then placed it on his head. The adorable exchange was captured on film and uploaded on YouTube. The video was viewed over 21 million times and got 163,000 likes. This might have become a catastrophe with one misstep. Although gorillas are generally wary of people, they will not hesitate to use their might to defend themselves. A gorilla can be provoked with just one misplaced step. Even a seemingly innocuous body movement might be seen as an aggressive stance. Was the threat truly gone? A miscommunication between a human and a gorilla may result in the animal reacting with an angry roar or a bluff charge, which is the gorilla charging toward a target and stopping a meter away. There are several ways that Fisher's introduction may have gone awry. If Fisher had flinched and tried to flee, the gorillas would have pursued her. Gorillas can keep up with humans due to their quick reflexes. The animal may bite the first portion of its body it sees after being captured. But did Fisher make it off the island unscathed? Since Fisher's introduction went so well, she is continuing to work with her husband to repair ecosystems that people have ruined so that creatures like Jala and Ima can have healthy lives. She was enamored with monkeys in general, not just gorillas like these two, though. Fisher felt more kinship with other primates as a result of her interactions with Jala and Ima. Aspinall shared a picture of his wife on Instagram with Galata, a young baboon who liked to tug on Fisher's long blonde hair and go for rides on her back. Thank you for seeing this wonderful video again. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.